Okay, so today we're going to unpack a German film that's about 50 years old. But honestly, it feels like it could have been made yesterday. We're talking about a story that's incredibly raw, really powerful, and at its heart, surprisingly simple. It's all about love, hate, and those quiet, destructive things that can just tear people apart.
So the film kicks off with this line, and wow, happiness is not always fun. It's kind of unsettling, right? And it perfectly sets the stage for a love story that's going to push every boundary. It's like a warning right from the get-go. What we're about to see is going to be moving, for sure, but it is not going to be easy. This is definitely not your typical romance.
So let's meet our main characters, Emmy and Ali. She's a German cleaning lady in her 60s. He's a guest worker from Morocco, and he's more than 20 years younger than she is. I mean, they're basically two lonely souls who just happen to find each other in this quiet, almost empty bar. But what happens when they find that connection? Well, without even realizing it, they basically paint a giant target on their backs for the whole world to see.
Yeah, so this is way more than just a romance. It's really a story about a relationship that, in the eyes of 1970s German society just shouldn't exist. It's like the director, Fassbinder, is setting up this experiment. He's deliberately breaking a couple of major social taboos at once, just to see what happens when you really turn up the heat.
I mean, their relationship breaks pretty much every unwritten rule in the book. You've got this huge age gap, which was seen as totally scandalous. Then you have their cultural backgrounds. I mean, worlds apart. She's a German widow, he's a foreign worker. And let's be honest, the thing simmering under all of it, just raw, ugly racial prejudice. And that combination, it sets off this immediate vicious backlash from literally everyone. Family, neighbors, coworkers, you name it.
Okay, so to really get why there's so much pressure on Emmy and Ali, we kind of have to zoom out and look at the world they were living in. See, this film didn't just come out of nowhere. It's a direct reaction to a very specific and very tense moment in German history.
So after World War II, West Germany's economy just exploded. They called it the Wirtschaftswunder, the economic miracle. And this boom created a massive, massive demand for labor, way more than the country could fill on its own.
So what was the solution? The government invited foreign workers, or Gastarbeiter, to come and fill those jobs. But that word, it's really telling, isn't it? Guest worker. A guest implies you're not supposed to stay. They weren't expected to build lives there or become part of the community. They were just seen as a temporary fix for a labor shortage. And we're not talking about a small number here. The scale of this was just enormous. Between 1955 and 1973, something like 14 million guest workers came to West Germany. They came from all over, Turkey, Italy, Morocco, Yugoslavia. Think about that. An entire generation of people arrived to help rebuild a country that didn't really see them as much more than a pair of hands.
But, a huge social shift like that is never simple. And right when the economy started to stumble in the early 70s, which is exactly when this film was made, unemployment went up. And who do you think got the blame? These guests became really easy scapegoats for all the country's problems. So that is the tense, fearful world that Ali is navigating every single day.
And right in the middle of all this social turmoil was an artist who absolutely refused to look away. We're talking about Rainer Werner Fassbinder. And honestly, you just can't fully grasp this film without understanding the incredible, complicated man who made it. Fassbinder was, he was a total contradiction, a complete force of nature. On one hand, he was this chaotic rebel, fueled by drugs and drama. But on the other, he was an unbelievably disciplined workaholic. I mean, get this, 41 films in just 16 years. That pace is it's almost inhuman. He was a genius, he was a tyrant, and he was the explosive, beating heart of a whole new film movement.
Right, so Fassbinder was a major player in what was called the New German Cinema. And this was a movement that basically declared war on the kind of movies their parents watched. The safe, fluffy, non-political entertainment films. No, they wanted cinema to be a weapon. They wanted it to confront audiences with uncomfortable truths about their own society, not give them an escape from it.
And for Fassbinder, the line between his art and his life was, it was basically non-existent. It was completely blurry. The actor who plays Ali in the film, El Hedi Ben Salem, was actually Fassbinder's real-life boyfriend at the time. All of his intense and often really chaotic personal relationships, they poured directly into his creative work. And that's what gives a film like this one such a painful, undeniable ring of truth.
Okay, but here's where it gets really interesting. Fassbinder's genius wasn't just what story he was telling, but how he was telling it.
He used the camera in a very specific way to make us, the audience, actually feel the character's isolation, to feel that crushing weight of everyone judging them.
So Fassbinder, he absolutely loved the big emotional punch of classic Hollywood melodramas. But he took that style and he completely twisted it for his own purposes. Think about it. A classic Hollywood movie just wants to make you feel. Fassbinder, he wants to make you feel, but then he wants you to step back and think, wait, why am I feeling this? For him, emotion wasn't the end goal. It was a tool to shine a light on a major social problem.
And he borrowed this whole idea from the famous playwright Bertolt Brecht. It's called the alienation effect. What does that mean? Well, you'll see it in the movie. Characters are often framed perfectly inside of doorways, like they're trapped in a box. Or you'll see these conversations that are shot in a really stiff, almost unnaturally symmetrical way. All these little tricks are there to constantly remind you, hey, you're watching a movie. He doesn't want you to just get swept away. He wants you to stay sharp and question everything you see on screen. Maybe even question your own role in the kind of hypocrisy he's showing.
And all of this leads to the film's structure, which is it's devastatingly brilliant. It's basically a story told in two halves that mirror each other. Let's break it down. In the first half, you have this hostile world that pushes Emmy and Allie together. Their loneliness is like a shield they share. But then, in the second half, something shifts. The world suddenly seems to accept them, but it's only because they've found a use for them. All that external pressure just melts away. And that's when the real tragedy kicks in. All that poison from society that they fought against, it starts to seep inside their own relationship. And they start doing the exact same cruel things to each other that were once done to them. All right, so let's see how this all comes together in its really powerful ending, and talk about why on earth a film from 1974 can still feel so incredibly important today.
So yeah, why does a 50-year-old film about a guest worker in Germany feel like it could be happening right now, right outside our window? Well, it's because the things it's talking about, racism, ageism, loneliness, all the quiet little ways that society pushes people to the margins, sadly, those things are timeless. The details might change, different country, different culture, but the way prejudice works, that stays pretty much the same. And that really brings us to the heart of the movie. That title, Fear Eats the Soul. It's not just a nice poetic phrase, it's a diagnosis. It's saying that fear of people who are different, fear of the unknown, fear of breaking the rules, is this corrosive thing. It's a poison that eats away at us from the inside out. It doesn't just corrupt society as a whole, it gets into our most private, intimate relationships and ruins them too.
And in the end, Fassbinder leaves us with a challenge. He's saying he doesn't want us to just sit back and watch stories about other people's problems. He wants his films to act like a mirror, one that forces us to take a hard look at our own lives, our own prejudices, our own fears. So really, the big question the film leaves us with isn't just about what happens to Emmy and Ollie, it's about what's happening inside of us.